Let's speak with Jonathan Davis, economist and wealth manager. Jonathan, good evening to you.
Hello, Ian.
So what is happening here? George Osborne is flogging off the more of the family jewels at a loss.
So what's new?
Yeah.
Gordon Brown and his chums bailed out the banks in late 2008, early 2009. It cost us, the taxpayers and our children, because they borrowed the money, of course, about £50 billion. And George Osborne now wants to sell the 79% of Royal Bank of Scotland, RBS, that we own, as well as the remaining shares in Lloyds. At the current prices, if they sell them, then we make a loss on that trade. Not a good idea. But then again, it's not his money, it's our money.
But what does he do, though, John? Should he hang on and wait for the shares to increase? What's the deal there?
Well, I've been thinking about this because the plan is, according to the Blue Bloods in the city, what he should do is he should sell a big tranche to the institutions, to the Blue Bloods, to the pension funds and so on, and then drip feed it into the market in due course, on the assumption that the price will rise. Excuse me, but if the assumption is the price will rise, why is he selling them? And that's the first point.
Yeah.
The second one is, I'm the first to berate that man, Gordon Brown, for what he did to society and the economy and to our children's opportunities, or lack of, as the case may be. But he did do one smart thing. You may recall in the early 2000s, he auctioned off the 3G bands
Correct.
for the mobiles. And it was expected to make £2 or £3 billion. It actually made 20-odd billion pounds, and it was a phenomenal return. The thing is, he auctioned it off. Don't we all go to auctions if we have an unusual thing to sell? Why don't they auction it to the highest bidders? I don't get this thing about the Blue Bloods saying you should do this, that's the price you're going to get. Hold on a minute. If they auction it, then we'll know the price and they can put a minimum reserve on it.
You see what? You need to be down at the Treasury, Jonathan. I've said this consistently. You should be telling Osborne this to his face.
People like politicians will never listen to realistic economic pundits. All they want to talk to is the people who tell them what they want to hear, which is basically going to give them the least hassle and the most votes. And the fact is, he's got a 5-year mandate. He can do what he likes now. That's politics. But these guys don't want to hear from realistic economists.
And this evening, Mark Carney, the governor, has waded in, talking about on that issue of banks and bankers and what happened, talking about essentially getting tougher, the end of an age of irresponsibility. Yeah.
When I tweet about Mark Carney, I have to say I use the hashtag carnage. That's another story. They're going to get tough. I mean, for goodness sake. And the funny thing is, most of the media will buy this rubbish. The fact is, as I said to you some weeks ago, as everybody knows, the banks have acted criminally. This is not alleged. It's out in the open. They've been fined literally between 100 and 200 billion pounds, whatever, in recent years. There hasn't been, as far as I know, a single prosecution of a senior executive or even of a perpetrator of criminal acts. And they're saying now that in 2015 something should be done. I mean, come on. This is the real world. If you and I steal sweets from a shop, at the very least, we'd be given a suspended sentence if we were caught on camera. These guys have committed serious criminal acts. How about money laundering for Mexican drug cartels? Do you not think that funded murders and tortures, for example, absolutely proven out in the open, and they're talking now about we need to get tough? I mean, they're having a laugh. and they're pretending that they're doing something. I assure you, Ian, unfortunately, they're doing nothing. I think it's a disgrace. We've bailed out these banks with our money, with our children's money, and God help them with our grandchildren's money, and they're pretending that they're sorting out the problem. They're not. They're letting it continue. Prosecute
Hashtag
the
Mark
bankers
Carnage.
right now.
Good man. Listen, Jonathan, always great to chew the fat on these things. Thank you, Jonathan Davis, economist and wealth